Yo, yo, yo! What's going on, everybody? Welcome in to another episode podcast to talk about our favorite team, the Arizona Cardinals. Huge shout out to the people that are currently in the chat. We got David, we got Javi, we got Juan, we got Naeem, 5-9, Mr. King Plumtree, Carter. What's up, y'all? Jeff, I see you up there. Lorenzo. Appreciate you guys for being here. Smack the like button here on your way in, ladies and gentlemen. We're on the road to 19K. Can't do it without you guys. And we are also giving away this Arizona Cardinals Nike Rivalry mini helmet if you do subscribe. So go ahead and make sure you subscribe it up and smack the like button. All right, ladies and gentlemen, let's get started. We got a lot to talk about today. Okay, perfect. Well, if you guys did not enjoy weekend football, you guys missed a lot of amazing football. The 49ers continue to do what nobody expects them to do. It doesn't matter that they're on their third, fourth string linebackers. It doesn't matter that they got one of the worst pass rushers out there. It doesn't matter. The 49ers continue each week in and week out, to continue to debunk the idea, well, the Cardinals dealt with all these injuries, that's why we're here. No. You're seeing a head coach in Kyle Shanahan absolutely go above and beyond for his team to coach his way to go to the next round in the division round for the NFL playoffs. It's absolutely amazing what the 49ers are doing. And I'm not trying to sit here and stroke the ego of Kyle Shanahan, but I'm gonna be real. What he's doing for the 49ers is absolutely remarkable. It really is. And right now we're living in a world where we got 3 out of the 4. Yes, 3 out of the 4 NFC West teams still in the playoffs. And they're going to the division round. Seahawks, Rams, 49ers, and then you got the Bears. Wow, what a time to not be in the damn playoffs. It's crazy, man. The Cardinals right now are sitting at all their big brothers right now and hoping for their downfall. But if you're really going to sit here and say, well, I hope none of the NFC West teams can go into the playoffs, well, I mean, your chances are it's 75% of the teams that are most likely going to be in the Super Bowl. It's crazy. Honestly, right now, all I can say is go Bears. Go Bears. I hope the Bears can take down the Rams. But as of right now, I mean, it's most likely going to be a NFC West team playing in the Super Bowl. Unfortunately, that's kind of what you don't want to see as also another NFC West team. But the proof of the pudding, ladies and gentlemen, is the Arizona Cardinals they ain't good enough. They ain't good enough here at the end of the day. And I'm hoping that 2026 can be different. Obviously, big storyline right now is still the head coaching position, right? The head coaching position for the Cardinals is still vacant. But what we do know right now is that there is new names that have popped up over the weekend. Chris Shula, defensive coordinator for the Rams, and offensive coordinator Mike LaFleur, also of the Rams. And we did hear some kind of wishy-washy news about Matt LaFleur, head coach of the Green Bay Packers. It definitely feels like the direction that he might stay with the Green Bay Packers. So for the people out there that really wanted Matt LaFleur to get fired, per Adam Schefter and Ian Rappaport a couple days ago, Adam Schefter just reconfirmed today that the Green Bay Packers and Matt LaFleur are trying to stay with each other. Like, they're trying to come up with the deal, but this is the last year of Matt LaFleur's contract. So they're going to have to figure something out. If they don't come to a consensus, he still might be able to kind of be cut ties with, but as of right now, it's trending in the direction that they're going to be meeting and hopefully finding a long-term solution amongst each other. But we're talking Cardinal fans, right? We're here to talk about the Cardinals information. Now, as of right now, ladies and gentlemen, this is the list that you need to know about. This is the list of all the candidates that the Arizona Cardinals have met with so far. Now, getting a gauge of all the social media platforms, Instagram, X/Twitter, and YouTube, whenever I put this list out, it seems to be the clear consensus that most people, right, most Arizona Cardinal fans right now, that their number 1 and 2 is the top 2 on this list, or at least the number 1 and number 2. Robert Saleh and Clint Kubiak. Those seem to be the consensus right now, that those are the guys that you or Cardinal fans want. But the list right now consists of Robert Saleh, Clint Kubiak, Raheem Morris, Vance Joseph, Chris Shula, Mike LaFleur, Matt Nagy, Jeff Hafley, Anthony Weaver, and Thomas Brown. Now, if I'm going to rank all 10 of these coaches, this is going to be my ranking. This is going to be my ranking right now of who I would love the Arizona Cardinals to potentially hire. Now, for the people out there asking about John Harbaugh, we all know, we all want John Harbaugh. The moment we heard that John Harbaugh got fired, right, from the Ravens, we all jumped on the opportunity. Michael Bidwell, you need to go after John Harbaugh. You need to do that. But with what the information that's kind of came into, as everything started to trickle through, being the fact that John Harbaugh most likely is going to covet 18, 19, $20 million a year. And on top of that, he wants his coordinators to get paid a lot of money as well. And the fact that he wants to be, I guess, the general manager or pick his general manager, I just don't think the Arizona Cardinals are going to be 100% game with that plan. They seem to be all in on the idea that as of right now, Monty Ossenfort is going to be the general manager. And I just don't think that's going to be good enough for John Harbaugh. And of course, on the other side of the coin, does John Harbaugh really want to come here, right? With an organization that swaps out their head coaches every 3 years, this organization does not seem to be the sustainability outlook, right? The most stable organization through the NFL. So I don't even think that Harbaugh is going to be a favorite to be here. I think right now, last I heard, the teams that are most likely going to be favored for him, I heard the Giants, I heard the Dolphins, and I also heard the Falcons too. So for what it's worth, there's that. But this is my list on how it's shaking out. But I'm actually really, I'm not concerned, but I'm shocked that there's 3 coaches out there that the Arizona Cardinals haven't made onto their list of so far 10 candidates. I'm actually very shocked that Mike McDaniel is not on the candidates that the Cardinals have reached out to. I'm shocked that Kevin Stefanski is not a part of the list that the Arizona Cardinals have reached out to. I'm shocked that Brian Flores is not a part of the list that candidates that the Arizona Cardinals have reached out to. Now, please also keep in mind that the Arizona Cardinals do a really good job and try to keep things in-house. So it doesn't mean because reports hasn't come out and hasn't surfaced that the Cardinals haven't reached out to a Mike McDaniel. Mike McDaniel, sorry. Mike McDaniel, Brian Flores, and Kevin Stefanski. But usually that's what we have to go base off of, right? Like if Ian Rappaport, Tom Pelissero, Adam Schefter doesn't say, right? Peter Schrager is also breaking news as well. If they don't say it's happening, it usually probably isn't happening. But that's one thing that I'm really shocked about. Why aren't the Cardinals reaching out to Kevin Stefanski? Why aren't they reaching out to Mike McDaniel, right? Why aren't they reaching out to Brian Flores? Guys that I feel like obviously had really good resumes. Although I still wouldn't put Kevin Stefanski on my top list right now, it's still Robert Saleh to me. It's Robert Saleh and Clint Kubiak. So for the people out there that's like, it's Clint Kubiak, Mike, stop it. Right now it's Robert Saleh, 1A, and my 1B is Clint Kubiak right now. So I don't know if that takes any solace for you or that gives you any warm and fuzzies, but right now that's just kind of my ranking right now. But I would still love for them to bring in Kevin Stefanski. For the love of God, at least try to interview him, right? Like, don't seem to be a team that you feel like you're too good for. Kevin Stefanski, 2 times head coach of the year, had himself a winning record with the Browns 2 years in a not 2 years in a row, but 2 times 11 wins, right? I mean, that's pretty impressive. Why not at least bring him in to see exactly what he's got to say, right? Brian Flores is also the same thing. And yes, every time I bring up Brian Flores, people always run to the chat and saying, oh, well, Brian Flores has that lawsuit with the NFL that has ties with Michael Bidwell. Okay, well, yes, I'll give you that, but still, it doesn't matter. He still would be a player in my mind that should potentially be brought in. Mike McDaniel, same thing. Why hasn't the Arizona Cardinals reached out to Mike McDaniel? Why? It's absolutely insane to me. I don't get it. I honestly do not understand it. Now, right now, the situation is a situation. The Arizona Cardinals have reached out to 10 candidates. I want to get a gauge of what you guys in the chat are saying, right? Because I think out of a list of 10 candidates, eh, this doesn't how do I explain this? Half of them I don't want on this team or as a head coach. Like 10 of them, or sorry, half of them I don't want, right? Like Thomas Brown, no, thank you. Anthony Weaver, I'm good. Jeff Halfley, I'm good. Right? Matt Nagy, I'm good. Right? This is I want to get more, bring in some more guys. Let's turn over every stone right now. Now, of course, I've kind of come to the conclusion that we're not going to interview John Harbaugh. John Harbaugh is not going to take an interview with the Arizona Cardinals. Okay, fine. He doesn't want to be here. I get it, right? It is what it is. He's too rich. It's not going to work with Michael Bidwell's finances. I get it. Do I still want him to take a swing? Of course I do. I would love to have John Harbaugh here. I'm not going to jump on a soapbox when realistically I don't feel like it's going to happen, right? This right now is my list of rankings of head coaches I would love to bring in to be the next head coach in 2026. Number 1, Robert Saleh. Number 2, Clint Kubiak. Number 3, Raheem Morris. Number 4, Vance Joseph. And number 5, it's a tie between Michael LaFleur and Chris Shula. But also, Mike McCarthy also hasn't been brought in either, which he is going through his rounds as well in terms of interviews. So I don't really know exactly what the plan is for the Cardinals, right? We're preaching turning over every stone, but there's a lot of coaches out there that have still not been reached out to. Now, we have heard confirmation that Robert Saleh will be meeting with teams this week, right? We have heard confirmation that Robert Saleh will be meeting with teams this week. I'm excited about that. That's cool, right? But like you can't hire the guy unless they get booted out of the playoffs, right? So like the Cardinals are going to continue to take their time. Do I see the Cardinals hiring a head coach this week? I don't, right? I think they have their eye on teams that are in the playoffs. If I'm going to be real with you, right? Teams that got booted out this last cycle, like the Eagles. Somebody mentioned about Nick Sirianni. What happens if Nick Sirianni gets fired? Would you want him? No, I don't want Nick Sirianni. I don't want Nick Sirianni here. Although it's good what he's doing over there. Like what's happening. It's just what the Eagles went through this last year. I'm good, right? Um, I think the Cardinals have their eyes on a team that's currently in the playoffs. I was banking on the fact that the Eagles were going to boot out the 49ers. I was so much banking on that. Then I'm like, okay, we can now interview Saleh and hopefully not let him leave the building, right? That's what I was banking on. But now we're living in a realistic situation where, like, dang, like, I don't like the list, and about half of them, I don't want any of those guys. But I've seen the joke around social media. I've been like, oh man, here it goes. The Cardinals are going to hire Thomas Brown, right? Passing game coordinator from the Patriots. And I'll give credit to the Patriots. What the Patriots are doing right now with Mike Vrabel is absolutely amazing. And Drake May in his year 2, super cool to see it. But man, oh man, oh man, I'm not trying to bring Thomas Brown to be the next Arizona Cardinals head coach. No, I need somebody with experience. And I need somebody with, I don't know, the quality to lead men. That's what I'm looking for, man. That's what I'm looking for. Matthew in the chat saying Tomlin after tonight's game. I don't think the Steelers are going to beat the Texans. I really don't. So yes, that's another good point. What happens if Tomlin, again, is one and done in the playoffs, right? That's another good point. What if Tomlin does also become available? It's a very good point there, Matthew, because we've talked about this. I made a video about this. Was it over the weekend? I believe it was either Saturday or Friday. I released a video talking about the rumor that Adam Schefter said, right? That Matt LaFleur might get fired. Sean McDermott might get fired. And then Mike Tomlin has always been somebody that we've been talking about for a very long time. It's trending, obviously, that Matt LaFleur isn't going anywhere because of the reports that came out that they're trying to come up with a deal moving forward. So it seems like Matt LaFleur is staying. It's not 100% sure right now, but it seems like he's staying. Sean McDermott is not getting fired. He just beat the Jacksonville Jaguars in a very, very good game. Josh Allen is an absolute beast, man. We all want a quarterback like Josh Allen. Let's be real. The prototypical perfect quarterback is Josh Allen. Like that's who you want in your team. Obviously, Josh Allen's don't grow on trees, but what he's doing with the Bills, I hope he does get a Super Bowl, and the Bills organization deserves a damn Super Bowl with what they've been through. And I want Josh Allen to win a Super Bowl, to be real with you. So I would love to see it, but TBD. And then Mike Tomlin. We're going to have to wait and see what happens with Mike Tomlin today after the Texans game on Monday night. So there is still potential teams that can, you know, open up some more coachings, right? Coaching opportunities. But man, is anybody shocked about Mike McDaniel? Is anybody shocked that Mike McDaniel hasn't been reached out to? I am. I'm shocked that Mike McDaniel hasn't been. I'm shocked that Kevin Stefanski hasn't been reached out to by the Cardinals. Um, it's odd. It's really really weird. And for the people out there that are like, oh well, Kevin Stefanski and Drew Petzing are one of the same. I mean, Petzing came from that system, right? But like that doesn't mean they're one and the same. I mean, we are talking about a two-time coach of the year, right? Has won 11 games with the Browns. What, 2 out of the 5, 2 out of the 6 years that he was the head coach over there. So I mean, you got to give at least some sort of credit to what he's done over there. I mean, I don't know. I'm just gonna come out here and say this, right? I'm just gonna come out here and say this for the people out there that are leaning hope and prayers that John Harbaugh is going to be the guy for the Cardinals. Just, it's not. I don't think it's going to happen, right? I don't think it's going to happen. So we need to shift our focus onto who the best head coach of this crop is right now. And to me, right now, this is still the dream scenario for me. This is still the dream scenario for me. I made this video about, I think last week. It's probably maybe Wednesday of last week or maybe Tuesday of last week. And a lot of people so far have agreed with me that this to me would be the best case scenario for the Cardinals. You get Robert Saleh as your head coach and you bring in Mike McDaniel as your OC. Now, Mike McDaniel has been interviewing for head coaching positions. Will he get those head coaching positions? We're going to have to wait and see how this shakes out. But this to me would be my dream scenario. You bring in Robert Saleh as your head coach, and then you have Mike McDaniel as your OC. Now, like I said earlier, does Mike McDaniel get a head coaching job? If that does happen, then this whole situation kind of gets thrown out the window. I mean, I still want Robert Saleh here, but my question is, who is your OC, right? If we do get a rookie, Ty Simpson, Chambliss, right? Any of those guys that are probably going to be in the second round or maybe late first round or third round, who's going to be that guy to try to develop, right? Because I don't know if you guys most likely saw the Bears game, but did you guys hear what Caleb Williams had to say about Ben Johnson? The glowing remarks about what Caleb Williams had to say about Ben Johnson. Like, everybody was so out on Caleb Williams being the first overall pick last year in his rookie year, but his offensive line was terrible. It was one of the worst offensive lines. And what he's doing this year, the throws that Caleb Williams is doing in the playoff, like there was one specific throw that he rolled out to the right, to the left-hand side, and he had no business throwing that ball to his receiver. I think it was a receiver. I'm not sure if it was a tight end, but he had no business throwing that ball. It looked like it was covered, and he made it happen, and it was a fourth down. Must have it. What Caleb Williams is doing over there with the Chicago Bears is something that I would love to replicate, right? Now, can that happen with a Dante? Could that happen with a Ty Simpson? Can that happen with a Chambliss? Well, as long as you have the appropriate coach, I think anything can happen. But you need to be able to obviously build it out correctly. You need to be able to build it out correctly. And right now, unfortunately, the Cardinals have a lot of question marks heading into 2025. Oh, sorry, 2026, right? We have more question marks going into 2026 than we did coming into the season. But now, at least we can kind of decide what the Cardinals are going to do moving forward, right? Because we're going to talk about Dante Moore a little later on. We talked about him on Saturday night on our membership-only live stream. We talked about him a little earlier. I think Dante Moore is declaring. I really do. Should he? Probably not. But I think he's going to declare. I mean, you can't compare the salary of a second overall pick or a third overall pick. I'm not saying that's not going to happen, but you can't compare the salary for NIL money to that, right? And I know people were like, "Oh, the Jets, he's trying to avoid the Jets. That's why he sucked." No, I mean, he struggled. Indiana makes everybody look bad. Indiana is a juggernaut right now. That team is going to look as bad as they did. I mean, hell, they benched Ty Simpson because of a rib injury. Although, yes, it probably did happen, but they benched Ty Simpson. That's how bad Indiana made all these teams look like. They are primed to be the champions this year. So good for them. Let me give a real quick shout out here to my guy Jose coming up with a $5 donation. What's up, Jose? Thank you so very much. He says this: Tomlin ain't good. He's mediocre at best. First round exits, not good enough for the bowl, but not bad enough for the top picks. You end up in mediocrity. Okay, that's fair. And here's the thing, too. You're not the first person that I heard say this as well, right? sometimes I believe, and including myself too, I'm gonna throw myself in the mix as well. Sometimes we just want to so badly be in the mix because I hate the fact that every single NFC West rival is in the playoffs right now. I hate it. I hate the fact that we're not in the final dance. I hate the fact that we don't have a chance at the Lombardi every single year. I hate it. I hate the fact that we're always here, right? But I definitely understand the people that has this take because you're right. I mean, there's a reason why Steelers fans want him out. Now, coming from a Cardinal fan, you look at that and you're like, oh man, that's sustainability. That's success in my mind because you're constantly going to the playoffs and you're not having any losing seasons. To us, right? That's success. That's like, wow, look at that level of consistency, right? But if you're looking at it on the side of the coin, like my guy Jose is clearing, like, laying it out, it's the truth, right? At some point, for winning organizations, this doesn't get you very much. Division titles don't get you anything, right? Like, well, it does if you want bragging rights over your buddies, it does, right? But you want the Super Bowl. That's a division right. That's what you want, the Super Bowl. So I definitely see this perspective. I absolutely do. But coming from a losing organization like we are, I kind of want to just taste. I kind of want to taste his level of sustainability. Like I kind of want to be in the dance year in year out. I don't think he's a bad head coach. I really don't. I think he's a really good. I think he's gonna be a Hall of Fame head coach. I really do. I think if the Cardinals need to take a swing, he's still a name that I would throw up there. But I get this perspective. I really do. Um, I think he is a good head coach. I really do. But opinions, right? Opinions. I appreciate the super chat though, Jose. Thank you so very much for obviously super chatting and being involved in the show. I appreciate you. Um, John in the chat says it's the same thing with John Harbaugh. Yeah, I mean, well, John Harbaugh on the other side of the coin, he's going to get paid well. He's going to get paid very, very well. People are saying 18, 19, $20 million a year. Just what Sean Payton got, right? When Sean Payton ended up getting traded, he got paid around that amount of money a year, and that's what he's going to covet. Now, would the Arizona Cardinals go after um sorry, sorry, I completely lost my train of thought. But yeah, that's what he's going to covet, John Harbaugh, and that's probably what Tomlin is also going to get as well. But this right now is my number one option, Robert Saleh right now. But it's a very close 1A, 1B, right? Because I got Clint Kubiak as my number two. So I think we can go back and forth. Everybody in the chat, I think for the most part, everybody can be on the same page that your number one and your number two, whether however you want to rank it, it's Saleh and Kubiak or Kubiak and Saleh, right? It doesn't matter. To me, it's 1A, 1B. It depends on, okay, so if Kubiak does get the position, right? Let's just say we live in a world where Kubiak gets the position, right? So, okay, you got your offensive mind. Who's going to be your defensive guy, right? Same thing goes for Saleh, because to me, Saleh would be awesome hire, but I'm also really intrigued on who your offensive coordinator is going to be, because we are in the midst of a change at quarterback. It's not 100% for certain, right? Maybe 80%, 85. Now, I know I saw the reports out there that came out that said, oh, the Cardinals, they can still stay with Kyler. If the head coach wants them, then yeah, the head coach wants them. That's their decision, right? But Kyler's not the guy the next 3 or 4 years from now, right? But we're going to see, man. We're going to see how it all unfolds here pretty soon. John says Tomlin will get paid if he gets fired as well. Oh, 100%. 100%. Ken in the chat says, set the bar high, get Pete Carroll. Stop it. Stop it, Kendrick. I know as a Seahawk fan, you would love us so much for us to get Pete Carroll. No, I'm good. I do not want Pete Carroll. I'm not touching him with a 6-foot pole. The funny thing is I actually have family members that live in Washington. And there was a post floating around that the Arizona Cardinals hired Pete Carroll. And my family members reached out to me and they texted me. They're like, is this true? And I was like, no, it's not true. No. But, social media, it's a powerful tool, man. You can make a nice, awesome graphic, keep Pete Carroll back there, and, say Cardinals hired Pete Carroll. Right now, Pete Carroll is not even linked with the Cardinals right now, at least as far as we know. Pete Carroll's not linked with the Cardinals, and I don't want him to be linked with the Cardinals. It feels like a coach that is kind of already past his ability to adapt to the new NFL, and I just don't want nothing to do with it, right? And it sucks to see him go out the way that he went out with the Raiders, but I'm good. I'm good. But I think a lot of these teams are waiting for these playoff teams to get booted out, right? So we'll see. We'll see how it goes. Eagles get booted out. Green Bay gets booted out, and obviously the Chargers get booted out. It's every single week we're going to get maybe a new crop of guys, right? But being the fact that we have these guys here, I think we might be seeing some new people. I mean, keep in mind today's Monday as well, right? Today's Monday. Maybe we get some more information by Tuesday. Maybe later on today, the Cardinals actually do. We got my guy Jose in the chat. Continue to talk about Tomlin. He's saying that he's only good against poverty franchises. Tomlin he's done really well though. I mean, I get what you're saying. Like it makes sense. I understand this point of view. I 100% do. He's got a Super Bowl ring under his belt right now. Keep in mind that probably is Ben Roethlisberger and how Ben ended up beating us in that Super Bowl, right? And that sucks. But he's got a lot of division titles under his belt as well. I don't know. I think that division has always been competitive, especially when Joe Burrow came in with the Bengals. Ravens have always been pretty consistent. And Pittsburgh, and then you got the Browns down there. It's kind of like the Cardinals, unfortunately. But yeah, I don't know. I'm still intrigued with Tomlin. I'm still intrigued. Now, will he come here? Probably not. It's probably gonna be the same thing like John Harbaugh. If I'm gonna be real, dude, it's probably gonna be the same thing. But let's see. Let's see how it all shakes out here at the end of the day. Let's take a couple comments here in the chat. We got Anthony saying Andy Reid. No, Anthony Reid ain't going nowhere, man. Anthony Reid ain't going nowhere. Right now, it's crazy to see the draft order because when you're used to seeing Kansas City pick so like far down in the first round, Kansas City right now has a top 10 pick. Kansas City right now has a top 10 pick in the draft right now. Isn't that crazy? Kansas City right now has a top 10 pick in the draft. They're sitting with the 9th overall pick in the draft right now. The 9th overall pick in the draft. And maybe Mahomes comes back in the beginning of the season. We don't know. We don't know how it's all going to shake out. But latest news that we just got, right? Latest news that we just got. Cardinals have requested to speak with two coordinators by the Rams. One, defensive coordinator in Chris Shula. Two, offensive coordinator in Mike LaFleur. Yes, brother of Matt LaFleur of the Green Bay Packers. So let me ask you guys this. Does that do anything for you guys? Does that do anything for you guys? Because I'm going to flash the list again of the 10 candidates. Chris Shula and Mike LaFleur. I would honestly take them over Matt Nagy, Jeff Hafley, Anthony Weaver, and Thomas Brown in a heartbeat. Now, that's not saying very much. It's not saying very much. But Vance Joseph, I have them higher just because of the experience. Although I don't want Vance Joseph, and I got Raheem Morris at number 3, and he just got fired. It's sad that my rankings, right? It's sad that my rankings have Raheem Morris here at the 3rd pick. Because this is the rankings here, right? Not this one, but this is the rankings. I got Raheem Morris as my 3rd coveted coach with the guys that are linked to us. Does Chris Shula and Mike LaFleur do anything for you guys? Anything? Let me know in the chat. Brian in the chat says, Mike, yeah, I guess. Okay, fair, right? Fair. John says LaFleur is good too. LaFleur is young, right? Young. Maybe he can be that guy. Now, he does not call plays for the Rams. I want to be very clear. He did call plays for the Rams, and I believe the last couple games because obviously opportunity, they sealed their playoff fate already, so they were in the playoffs. But he did call the plays in the last few games, and I think he called it versus the Cardinals as well. So Michael LaFleur is interesting, right? I had Michael LaFleur on my list in November and December when we were talking about the coaching carousel videos. So I like the idea. I like the idea of Chris Shula as well. But again, inexperienced guys that don't have any head coaching experience under their belts, it's probably the route the Cardinals are probably going to go to if Saleh goes somewhere else. Man, if Saleh goes somewhere else, that would be a heartbreaker for me. Now, we still have Kubiak. Which is good. But that would be a heartbreaker for me. If Saleh decides to go somewhere else, that would break my heart. 100%. But let's see. John in the chat says you gotta, but coaching staff on these division, yeah. Nate in the chat says Saleh will take the defense places. He's literally winning with everyone hurt. Yeah, 100%. What Saleh's doing right now, man? What Saleh's doing right now is absolutely amazing. It's amazing what he's doing, and he's playing with what, third, fourth string linebackers right now. He's getting his guys to play hard for him. Play hard for him. Like watching that 49ers and Eagles game, it felt like nobody wanted to win that game until the fourth quarter. It looked like nobody wanted to. The offense just looked not great. Now, obviously, George Kittle going down is a big thing, right? Prayers up George Kittle and a speedy recovery for him because he's still a really good player to me. He's not the best tight end in the NFL anymore. That's Trey McBride. But, obviously you don't want to see a guy in that caliber go down like that. You don't want to see that. And unfortunately, really bad injury with an Achilles tendon. Achilles injury for him. So prayers up to him and a speedy recovery. But yeah, man, what Saul is doing over there is absolutely amazing. It really is. But Clint Kubiak is pretty exciting on its own too. Clint Kubiak is pretty exciting on its own. I will definitely say that. David says Kubiak and Saleh may decide to stay with their winning teams rather than leave a Yeah, that's also too. Yeah, 100%. You're 100% correct. If they stay, wow, dang, we are left in a world of hurt if Kubiak stays and Saleh stays. Now, of course, all these, not all, most coordinators, or let's say some coordinators, let's just say, I'm not going to say most, some coordinators, their dream is to become a head coach, right? I mean, do you skip out on an opportunity? Or do you say, I'm going to make your franchise relevant, right? Now, of course, if Saleh decides to stay and Kubiak decides to stay, that will also be heartbreakers. That will be backbreakers because the list that the teams that are linked to the Cardinals or the coaches that are linked to the Cardinals, besides them, I'm not very impressed. I'm gonna be real. I'm not very impressed with Joseph, um, Morris. There's no experience at head coaching with Chris Shula. There's no experience at head coach with Michael Floor, right? It's just yikes. That right there would really, really. I mean, I guess I would be excited about the 2026 season still, but and I'm not even going to come out here and say we should have kept Gannon because no, Gannon shouldn't have stayed, regardless of Gannon should not have stayed at all, at all. The Cardinals did the right thing in moving off of Gannon. Um, there was no hope for next year. Absolutely no hope for next year for the Cardinals at all, at all. So, but I'm also not ruling out Matt LaFleur 100%. I know reports came out. It seems like it's trending in the direction to stay, but I'm not ruling it out quite yet. It seems like another team or another coach that the Cardinals have met with on the last cycle, Lou Anarumo. I think Lou Anarumo is actually meeting with the Giants. Lou Anarumo was a guy that was on our last cycle. Obviously, didn't make it. It was Gannon. But yeah, Lou Anarumo is interesting as well. But of course, there's no links to the Cardinals with Lou Anarumo. So for what it's worth, there's that. Let me see if there's any new reports about the Cardinals. Usually, Albert Breer is the guy to go to. This guy is pretty much on top of it, and Peter Schrager has been pretty on top of it as well. I mean, Mike McDaniel, I think, is meeting with the Cleveland Browns today. Like I said earlier, there's three coaches that I'm very shocked that the Cardinals haven't reached out to this cycle yet. Kevin Stefanski, Mike McDaniel, and Brian Flores. All guys that I'm very shocked the Cardinals haven't reached out to yet. And right now, still nothing. The 10 candidates that I kept flashing on the screen are the same 10 candidates that the Cardinals have been linked to as of this weekend. Nothing is quite updated yet. Is it Khaleesi in the chat says, I say straight power homie when someone. Okay, I don't know what that meant. Javi, there was no head coach experience with Ben Johnson. That's true. That's true. That's fair. Yeah. I mean, Ben Johnson was very, very, very hyped up in that last coaching cycle. Very hyped up. He was the best candidate at the OC position that we've seen in a very long time. Like the hype that came out of Ben Johnson was real. So, I mean, you're right. I mean, the Cardinals can maybe go after a Michael LaFleur and it could work out, or a Chris Shula and it could work out, or an Anthony Weaver. It's just, man, when you come off back to back out of the box hires, right? And let's be real, Jonathan Gannon was an out of the box hire. Nobody had Jonathan Gannon on their top list. Nobody did. Nobody had Jonathan Gannon on their top list. Nobody did. And Cliff Kingsbury, right? We wanted to replicate Sean McVay. We wanted to replicate Kyle Shanahan. We wanted to get the new young coach, and we got one out of college in Cliff Kingsbury. And it was a cool story. It was awesome, right? Oh, cool. Cliff Kingsbury coming in here. He said he would get Kyler Murray with the first overall pick, and he comes and he gets him. Wow, what a cool story. But it didn't work out, right? It didn't work out at the end of the day. But yeah, man, to me, it's experience. I'm looking for experience right now. And of course, before Cliff was Wilkes, and we all know how the Wilkes era ended, and it was really, really quickly. um, Robert in the chat says Gruden. The fact that I have not seen anybody even link to Gruden already tells me all I need to know, right? Already tells me is all I need to know. I don't think Gruden is even considered in any of these head coaching jobs. Let me see if there's anything on John Gruden anywhere. Yeah, nothing. John Gruden is linked to absolutely nobody. Nobody. So, I mean, of course you got fans talk about it, right? NFL fans talking about it, but I've never seen an actual report from anybody about Gruden anywhere. I could be wrong. I could have missed it, but I just don't see him. But I wouldn't be mad at that. I wouldn't be mad at that at all. Miami's coach that got fired knows how to work with the small quarterback since we still have Kyler. So you're saying bring in Mike McDaniel? I mean, I'm cool with Mike McDaniel. I am. Mike McDaniel right now is being interviewed. Well, not right now, but he was interviewed by the Browns today. Mike McDaniel right now has head coaching interviews going on, right? I pitched the idea of Saleh as your head coach and your OC, Mike McDaniel. I pitched that idea, but of course, he's not going to be an OC if somebody offers him a head coaching job. Let's be real. RC3, what's up, man? He says, we can't keep getting those coordinator experiments with our franchise. We need experienced play calling and a motivational coach. Yeah, I mean, that's kind of my stance on it as well. Now, of course, when it actually happens, we will have to make our decisions and our synopsis and our, I guess, overall what we think then. But, I mean, I agree. The Cardinals need to reach out to Mike McDaniel. They need to. The Cardinals need to reach out to Brian Flores. Cardinals need to reach out to sorry, I keep calling him Steven. Kevin Stefanski. And I probably called him Steven multiple times. For some reason, the two S's, like, they confuse me. Kevin Stefanski. They need to reach out to these guys. They haven't. Don't know why, but they haven't. But I agree. The same stance that RC3 has is what I have as well. Now, let me give some real quick shout out here to the sponsors. And I want to talk about Dante Moore real quick. We talked about this in my live stream on Saturday night. Now, it was exclusive for channel members, so a lot of you guys probably didn't actually get a chance to hear it, but there is some real potential buzz about Dante Moore. We're going to talk about that right now. Let me just go real quick shout out here to the sponsors of the AZ Sports Fan, and that's going to be none other than Sleeper. The NFL playoffs are here, which means you now have a chance to 100 times your cash on daily fantasy football. Pick on stats for stars like touchdowns, passing yards, receiving yards, and fantasy points, and more for up to 100 times the payout on Sleeper. Get your picks right, and you can win big. Use promo code AZSF, and you can get up to a $100 deposit match on your first initial deposit. Terms and conditions do apply. Everything will be in the description below of the video. On top of that, you will also be getting a free $20, just like that. No deposit needed. Make sure you check out Sleeper, proud sponsors of the AZ Sports Fan throughout the entirety of the 2025 season. All right, ladies and gentlemen, let's keep the conversation going. I want to talk about something else here. I want to talk about Dante Moore. Why am I talking about it? And if you're going to sit back and say, well, Mike, you didn't even draft Dante Moore in your last mock draft. You're right, I didn't. And if you guys do not know, I did release my first 1.0 mock draft literally about 30 minutes, 40 minutes before we did this live stream. So make sure you check out the mock draft if you're interested. If you like mock drafts, just different scenarios, different things the Cardinals can do, prospects to look out for. If you're interested in that, it is already live on the channel. But let's talk about this real quick. There is some serious rumors and speculations right now that Dante Moore actually might declare. Now, should he declare? That's your opinion. My opinion is going to vary from every which direction, right? But being the fact that the rumors was out there that Dylan Raiola, former Nebraska quarterback, was going to visit Oregon over the weekend, I said to myself, wow, okay, that's interesting. You got Dante Moore, which most likely is going to be your starter if he decides to obviously come back to Oregon. Now, reports came out this morning that Dylan Raiola is transferring to Oregon. Now, what does this mean, right? If you're sitting back and saying, oh, what does this mean, right? This is massive. This is massive news. I don't see a world that Oregon will make a move like this, especially a name like Dylan Raiola. Now, I don't think Dylan Raiola is that great of a quarterback. Now, can he do more things to get himself there in 2027's draft? Probably, right? I know a lot of people like to make fun of him because he really wants to be like Patrick Mahomes, right? At least that's what people will say. Like he wants to copy Patrick Mahomes and everything that he does, his hairstyle, glasses, his gestures, his movements on the field. Everybody's like, oh, that's just a dude that loves to copy Patrick Mahomes. But this is a big name. This is a guy that could potentially be a starter in college. So why would you bring him in if you have Dante Moore? Why? Why would you bring him in? Now, college is a little different. College is a little weird, right? They could still very well have Dylan sit behind Dante. That's true. Or they might have an actual competition. Maybe they're like, oh, we see enough of Dante. We don't need him. Or what I'm speculating right now is that he truly might actually come out. And I'm talking about Dante Moore. Dante Moore actually might declare. Being the second overall pick or the first overall pick in the draft is much better money than your NIL money. And there's no debate on that. NIL is probably going to be what? 6, 5, 4 million, depending on the player. But you potentially can get double digits of millions of dollars when your name is as big as it is, because this quarterback market isn't that great. Market and draft class isn't that great. Dante Moore actually might declare. Now, if he comes out and says, no, I'm coming back to Oregon, cool. I think that's what a lot of people feel like he should do, right? A lot of people feel like he should do that, especially getting absolutely obliterated by the Hoosiers this weekend. But the circumstances are the circumstances. Oregon just came out here and brought in Dylan Raiola on a transfer. Now, here's my question, chat. Since everybody right now is so down on Dante Moore, and I just want to get a yes or no. Yes or no. As simple as that. Since everybody's so down on Dante Moore, if the Jets trade for Kyler or the Jets just don't go that direction, if Dante Moore is sitting there in the third overall pick, obviously contingent, if he declares, do you use the third overall pick in getting Dante? Now, Dante Moore, to me, is not ready to be your starter in the beginning of the year. No. The plan is to sit him, have him learn, And hopefully the tools that we see, the intangibles that we see, can develop into a NFL prospect. But do you take a chance with the third overall pick, or do you go BPA? Simple as that. Question. Yes or no in the chat. Simple. Yes, just yes or no. If the Jets don't go okay, like I said, a lot of Jets fans are down on Dante. The NFL world fans are down on Dante because of how bad he looked like against Indiana. So my question to you is, if he's sitting there at the third overall pick, do you use that third overall pick, or do you go BPA? Or do you trade out of that position for a team like the Browns? Right? Options, options, options. We got We Rep AZ says yes. We got Javi saying no. John saying no. Javi saying second round. Naheem says yeah, trade Dante Moore for Kyler. Nate says yes. We got another no. Danderson says yes. Adrian says yeah. Okay. I'm just curious. Just out of pure curiosity, right? Pure curiosity, because this might be a scenario. Now, if it goes quarterback, like a lot of people are projecting, right? Because let's be real. Who is most likely going to trade out of that number, that pick? The Jets or the Cardinals, especially if you're not in on Dante. It's probably the Jets, right? Unless the Jets just continue to jet and they don't take advantage of trading down for any team that wants to get Dante Moore, then that's on them, right? Then that's on them. But realistically, if there was a team to trade back, it's probably going to be the Jets. Unless they absolutely love a prospect, it's a can't miss prospect. But I don't think there's any of those guys in this draft. I'm going to be real. I don't think any of these guys coming out of the draft is a can't miss prospect. Even Fernando Mendoza, which I have as the number one quarterback, you never know. Especially with the Raiders. I feel bad for Fernando Mendoza. Going to the Raiders, good God. Now it's not a play. I mean, thankfully they have Tom Brady there as a minority owner. That's cool. A minority owner. That's cool. But nah, man. That ain't it. That ain't it. Fernando Mendoza going to the Raiders. That team needs a lot of help. Now, the Cardinals also do need a lot of help as well. I will say that. But at least we got some really good top tier players, right? We got Trey McBride. You got the Ascension, right? The rising star of Michael Wilson. Now you're wide receiver one. You got your wide receiver number two in Marvin, fourth overall pick. Get a run game, preferably Brees Hall, or bring in somebody else. Maybe Trey Benson can stay healthy for once. Maybe he's that guy. We'll see. We'll see. Kojad in the chat says BPA or trade and get Chambliss. Okay. I'm still, and this is probably going to make people mad. This is probably going to make people, I'm still interested in Ty Simpson. If he's there in the later parts of the first round, and if he's still there in the second round, I'm still pretty interested in Ty Simpson. Now, if Chambliss declares, because all we know right now is that the waiver was declined, and what we know is that Ole Miss is trying to appeal that, right? We don't 100% know if Chambliss is going to declare. Let's see. I think it would be beneficial for him to actually declare, but we'll see how it shakes out. But I still would like Simpson if the pick was right. And like I said, it's going to make people mad, and that's fine. But with what Ty Simpson was doing in the beginning of the year, he got hurt. His run game was non-existent. His wide receivers had brick for hands. His offensive line is terrible. If it's at the right pick, second round, I'm intrigued. I'm intrigued still. And for what it's worth, Josh Weinfuss of ESPN said that the Arizona Cardinals took likings to Ty Simpson out of Alabama. Now, I'm not sure if it's the coaching staff. I'm not sure if that's Monty. I'm not sure who in the Arizona Cardinals took a liking to Ty Simpson, right? This is coming from Josh Weinfuss in his article that pretty much laid out the entirety of what the Cardinals can do, right? There's a very specific thing on there that says the Arizona Cardinals took a liking to Ty Simpson, quarterback out of Alabama. Not sure if that's Gannon. I'm not sure if that's the coaching staff. I'm not sure if it's Monty. So, for what it's worth, all I'm going to say right now, is, I think it's still kind of open. If he's at the later parts, I'm not talking about the third overall pick, so don't have an aneurysm. Don't chop my head off. Not saying with the third overall pick. I'm not getting Ty Simpson with the top 10 pick. It's just not happening. Carter in the chat says Dylan Ray. Yep, we just talked about that. Yep. Dylan Raiola going to Oregon. I really do think Dante might be coming out. I really do think Dante might be coming out. Now, when he's going to make a decision, we'll see. We'll see how it comes out. But you might be the second. You might be a top 5 pick. You just might be a top 5 pick in the draft. That's going to be some life-changing money. Now, I know the NIL world is a different world right now than 4 or 5 years ago, but if you're potentially going to be that high of a pick, you're probably going to consider at least. Let's go with Mondo. What's up, Mondo? I don't care if he's gone, but getting nothing for him would be a blow. Talking about Kyler. I agree. I feel like it would be an absolute whiff. And that's one thing that I'm really going to be paying a close attention to Monty. Like, can Monty actually get his value back? Because Monty Ossenfort, so far in his trading, has not been very good. Monty Ossenfort has not been very good when it comes down to trading at all. His free agency is His draft has been pretty good. It's been pretty good. I mean, of course, I would have taken a couple people over who he's taken, but I mean, it's been okay, right? But his free agency has been meh. His trading has been horrible. But yeah. John in the chat says Ty Simpson in the second round. I'm telling you guys, and I know right now everybody's saying no on Ty Simpson, but if you can get Ty Simpson in the second round, that right there is probably a really good pickup in the second round. It is. Like I said, I'm not using a top 10 pick on him. Right now, the number one thing the Cardinals should be thinking about is who is the blue chip player coming out of this draft. Now, of course, their BPA, their blue chip player is different than my blue chip player, right? Of course, I had Will Anderson Jr. And they said no. That they said Paris Johnson. And then on top of that, I said James Pierce Jr. They said no. They went with Walter Nolan. Although I do believe Walter Nolan can develop to be that guy. It's just, can he stay healthy? Now, that's the big question. Multiple injuries in his rookie year. Can he stay healthy? Now, that's a big question. Adrian in the chat says Dante should declare, because if he were to stay, he isn't going to be a first round in 2027. That's a great point, Adrian. A great point. Let's be real. Dante Moore right now is talked about because there's not a lot of good quarterbacks coming out of this year's draft. Next year, you're going to have people like Arch Manning. You're going to have people like, who's the other player? Julian Sayin. You're going to have quarterbacks that are going to be leaps and bounds better than Dante Moore. Now, unless Dante Moore has an MVP type season in Oregon, we'll see. We'll see how it shakes out, right? Like I said, it's unknown. We don't know exactly what the future of Dante Moore is, but seeing that Dylan Raiola is now transferred to Oregon, that just kind of gives me a little bit more of like, okay, that makes sense. Dante might come out. So I agree. I think Dante should come out as well, but we'll see. Feely in the chat saying, what are your thoughts on Carson Beck in the second or third round? So there's 2 first round picks for me, or at least first. Dante, I'm still putting him in there. I know. I'm still putting Dante Moore as a first rounder, and I'm putting Fernando Mendoza. Obviously, Fernando Mendoza is way better than Dante. That would be my first pick if I was the first overall pick. Borderline second, first round picks is Ty Simpson still. I'm still putting Ty Simpson up there. If somebody trades up for him, if you get him in the second round, I still think that's a really good quarterback that, if given the time and given weapons like Trey, given weapons like Michael Wilson, given weapons like MHJ, he still can be a really good a passer of the ball, right? In the beginning part of Alabama, in the first part, he was making some crazy, unbelievable throws. Ty Simpson up there, to me, still has the intangibles that can be a pretty good quarterback. So I have him as a borderline first rounder, second round guy. Borderline second rounder, third round guy, Trinidad Chambliss. If he declares, he's also on my list of guys that I would love to get. And then I got Carson Beck probably after. There's a couple other guys out there. It's just, I don't know. Those are really kind of the only 5 quarterbacks that I would humor, right? Fernando, obviously out of reach. Dante, we'll see what happens. Ty Simpson, Carson Beck, and then Chambliss. Those right now are probably going to be the guys that I would like the Cardinals to try to develop, right? If they do decide to bring in Malik Willis, if they do decide to roll with Jacoby, or if they bring back Kyler for another year, I don't know what they do. I really don't. And whoever tells you they know what they're going to do, they're probably lying to you. But yeah, it's a lot, man. It's a lot. Nate on the chat says Sellers. Sellers decided to go back. Lenore Sellers probably will be a guy higher than Dante as well, if that's what you're saying. I forgot about Lenore Sellers. Yeah, right now, he made the right decision for himself. He's going back to college. I think he's going back to South Carolina, if I'm not mistaken. But yeah, he's going back to college. Yeah, we'll see. We'll see how it all shakes out. Right now, I'm looking at a real quick brief to see if there is any other information. And no, I do not see any other coaches as of right now on Monday morning linked to the Arizona Cardinals as of right now. Yeah, I don't see anything else as of right now. But we'll see. Maybe Nick Sirianni does become available. Yeesh. Maybe Nick Sirianni does become available. We'll see how that shakes out. All right, let's go with a couple more. Let's go do two more chats, and then we'll be closing up shop. Oracle in the chat says Suns to the finals manifesting. Love to see it. Valley Vibe says pick Bane at 3 and a late pick at quarterback, then tank for the first overall pick next year. I'm so tired. That would be 5 straight losing seasons. 5 straight losing seasons. I'm so tired of it, man. I get it what you're saying. I'm so tired of losing. Naeem in the chat saying Dante Moore, AJ Brown, Marvin Harrison Jr., Michael Wilson, Trey McBride would be great. Woo! That's talent galore right there. That's talent galore. Juan in the chat says Levitt transferred to LSU. Yeah, I saw that. Dante Moore, Ty Simpson, Chambliss, Beck. Even if you took out AJ Brown and replace AJ Brown with a running back like Breece Hall, hey, that could be a really good offense. Trey McBride, Michael Wilson, MHJ. Woo, sign me up, ladies and gentlemen. All right. We got Fashion in the chat says, I think we shouldn't draft a quarterback this year. I think we shouldn't get a quarterback this draft. Should see our quarterback do good enough to find one in free agency. Wait till next year's draft to find a quarterback. Fair. I just want something to look forward to at the end of the year if things hit the fan, right? Like the Jacoby Brissett thing. It was cool. We had Jacoby Brissett. It's awesome, right? Cool story. Backup quarterback comes in here, makes Trey McBride that next level tight end, best tight end in the NFL, right? Amazing to see that. We saw the emergence of Michael Wilson, wide receiver number 1. It's cool. It's a great storyline. Jacoby Brissett did that. But like at some point, like you kind of wanted to see something different, right? Like the whole Keaton Slovis. Oh, should we put Keaton Slovis in there? I mean, I at least thought about it because you kind of want to start seeing something different. To me, if you use a second round pick on bringing in Ty Simpson, I wouldn't be mad at it. Now, like I said before, I'm not using a top 10 pick on Ty Simpson. No, I'm not. But a second rounder? I mean, who's been our second rounder so far? Max Melton, which I hope the next coaching staff can get going. BJ Ojolari, injury so far, looked pretty solid down the stretch, but can he stay healthy? Big question. We don't know, right? Who's the second round this year? Oh, Will Johnson. That's right, Will Johnson. That was a good pick. I mean, we got a lot of young talent, man. We just need a coach to be able to actually use their talents. That's what we need. We need a coach to be able to use their talents. Let's see what happens. I'm okay with seeing Jacoby Brissett in the beginning part of the season, especially if he's doing some good things and our defense finally gets it together, right? I'm okay with seeing it. I'm not ruling it out one bit. But for that note, ladies and gentlemen, we're going to close up shop. I want to go ahead and thank you everybody for being in the chat. Do me a massive favor. Smack the like button here on your way out. Subscribe as well. We are giving away this Arizona Cardinals Nike Rivalry mini helmet if we hit 19K. If we hit 19K, ladies and gentlemen, this can be yours, but you got to subscribe. You got to smack the like button. You got to obviously engage in the chat and the conversation as well. Thank you guys for being here. We'll be closing up shop right here. Thank you everybody for tuning in. If we get any more information, if we get more news, I will be providing you guys all the updates that we know so far. As of Monday morning, the list still stays the same. Same 10 guys. And we're all hoping for Kubiak or Saleh. All right, y'all. Let's go and close up shop. Thank you, everybody, for tuning in. You're all amazing. Another shout out to my guy, Jose, with the $5 donation earlier. Thank you. All right, y'all. Have a great rest of your day. And as always, go Cardinals. Later.